broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Nicole Brajer here at AFTERBUZZ TV Mob Wives. We are approaching our series finale of Mob Wives: The Last Stand. We can't even take it that we received this devastating news from the preview for next week's final episode. And I have a lovely co-host next to me. Introduce you guys.
Hello, I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
Hey everybody, I'm Howard III. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Howard III.
And on the line right now, we have producer of Mob Wives, the one and only Jen Graziano. What's up, Jen?
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Jen? First of all, our deepest sympathies are with you and everybody over at Mob Wives in and out of production. We know it's been one hell of a week for you all, and Angela is in our thoughts and prayers over here at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. We know it's late. We really, really appreciate your time.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't take up too much of it, but first I think we just wanted to dive right in with about the weekend and the laying Ange to rest. I mean, how was it emotionally for you, being that you've worked with her for so long and she's pretty much been a part of your family for a while?
Yeah, it was very, very sad, both on many levels. Like for me, my friendship with Ange was always first, so that's what was really heartbreaking. And for the fans, you know, that's where the business comes in, but that's not what was foremost in my mind.
Yeah. Can we ask you about just like the rumors that the media kind of spewed out about her funeral and attendance regarding Drittany, and even a rumor that Karen was not invited to the funeral? I mean, what do you have to say about that?
I really don't know exactly the particulars of what happened or didn't happen. I mean, there were conversations of who should, who shouldn't, I will, I won't, it's okay, you do, you don't. I mean, at the end of the day, she was there at the hospital, and she was there at the church, and she decided that she was going to pay her respects in her own personal way, so as not to detract from what was really going on.
Yeah, because...
But I think, you know...
Go ahead. No, you go first.
No, I'm done. It's fine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say, yeah, because Drittany kind of put out there in the media that Karen went against wishes, so or Big Ange's family's wishes, if I'm correct.
At the end of the day, Ange would have wanted what Ange would have wanted, and I think that's the decision that everyone made.
Absolutely. So we were looking up a little bit of news and gossip, and we saw that Nat G and Karen actually hashed some things out over at the memoriam, or I guess there was a little bit of a party for Angela after she was laid to rest. Did you bear witness to all these girls finally getting along and toasting and just celebrating for Angela?
I did. And, you know, everyone went over to the Funky Monkey and, you know, in memoriam of Ange, and you're walking in, Natalie was there, and Ange's friends were there, and Natalie just said to Karen, hey, is that my best friend? And Karen just looked at her, and she's like, yeah, tonight I could be. And, you know, it just led
That's
to,
nice.
okay, you know, it's not that important. You know, you're right, I'm sorry, and let's just be cool, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's really great to hear. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we as viewers are faced now with this moment of Ange's passing, which is really hard for all of us very true fans of Ange. And, of course, we have, you know, we're finishing up our last season of Mob Wives, The Last Stand here. What are kind of your final thoughts on the entire Mob Wives experience coming to an end, and maybe kind of your last words about Ange?
Well, my final thoughts on the show coming to an end. It's not over yet. And until it is, I won't say a word.
Okay.
As far as my last thoughts on Ange, it's just they're happy thoughts, they're happy memories. She was a friend, and that's how I will always remember her.
Yeah, I think it goes to say that everyone, even people who didn't have the fortune
Personally
to meet
know
her, just could feel that she
so
was always a
connected to
good
her.
person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we really appreciate you talking to us. Now, really quick before we let you go, we just want to ask you a quick question following what you just said. We did hear that Drita might be having a spinoff. Karen might be having a spinoff. We understand Renee, being that she was with us in studio a little bit ago, has been, I heard some sirens in the background. Where are you, Jen?
Yeah, I'm on time. That was an ambulance coming by.
Driving through the slums. And that Renee has been working on some stuff too. So what can you share with us, or what can you share with us? I mean, a lot of them are hashtagging and talking about scripted series too. So that's what's throwing me for a loop, these reality ladies going into a different
Taking a big
direction.
step.
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on several scripted series. Renee is doing one with me.
Of course.
As far as spin-offs, Karen's also doing one with me as well. But as far as spin-offs go, that's very confidential, and you'll just have to tune in to see what happens.
Oh, too much suspense, Jen.
I know. But thank goodness that we still get to watch these ladies, because it's not fair for the fans to just say goodbye to all of them, especially after we just said goodbye to Big Ange. It's like, why would we want to just say goodbye to Mob Wives in general?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. This last season, it's heart-wrenching to lose Ange.
Absolutely.
And then it's like another blow to be in the last season of Mob Wives. We've all come to love these ladies. We love everything that happens with them all, and we would absolutely love more from them.
Yes.
I agree. And you might just get your wish, but at the end of the day, if not, at least we have closure in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, so there is going to be a reunion, right? A Mob Wives reunion.
Yes, it airs on the 16th. And then after, next week's episode is our finale, and then right after is the Big Ange tribute.
Right, which
and then the following week is the reunion.
Great, and I think I'm going to be working with the producers over AFTERBUZZ TV to try to see if we can cover that as well. Because to do back to back. I think we have some free slots open here as well. So I don't know if you want to round up the troops and maybe let them know that we're going to be covering that as well. Hopefully, we can get some of the ladies on the line to talk to. Does Drita not want to talk to us, Jen? Because we want to talk to Drita.
Yeah, you can talk to her. Of course you can. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her in a few weeks, but ever since we stopped filming, but I will definitely find out.
We got to have her.
That would be great.
Especially as we're approaching the final moments. We would love to have her on the line.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Great. Well, sure. That's it. Just a little sure. Make sure you take the Tribeca Bridge and the... Do you guys have any more questions for Jen before we let her go?
I just have one... I guess kind of personal, kind of not personal question, but what advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into producing and, kind of wants to be the next Jen and have a hit show on their hands?
Find a fantastic cast. It's all about the cast these days.
Okay.
You could have a great idea, but without the people behind it and the cast behind it, you got nothing.
Did you know that Mob Wives would be such a hit and so popular, and that everyone would just be so enthralled with all the ladies on the show?
Actually, yes and no. I mean, as a whole, I thought that the concept would always be exciting to America and beyond, because the mob holds a certain amount of intrigue for a lot of people. But to do it from the woman's perspective made it that much more intriguing. So I think, in a way, I did. And as far as the characters, I thought, I listened to Drita stories my whole life. I was enthralled. Renee was acting and dancing on our tables, and she was too. I was enthralled. So I kind of knew, at least I would be enthralled, but I knew that would translate to a hell of a lot of other people.
Yeah. Oh, man, you were spot on.
Yeah,
We just love it.
I am so excited to see this last episode and how everything ravels out. Before we let you go, I've said that like twice already. Can you tell us how the vibe was between all the women shooting this reunion? Was Angela there for the shooting for the reunion? Because I'm not sure when you guys shot it.
She was, and we left it up to her as to whether or not she wanted to come, and she was like, I will absolutely be there.
Wow.
I started this, I'm finishing this, and, she came for one segment, and we saw that she was getting tired, so we mutually agreed that she should just, end after the first act and go home.
Okay, great. Well, that's great that you let us know that. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Jen, we're going to let you go. And I would love to talk to you again before, everything disappears for a while and then these new scripted series that you won't let us know too much about come on to network television. But we'll keep in touch, and we just thank you so much.
Yes,
I know
thank
it's
you
been
so
a rough
much.
time, and just know all of us here at AfterBuzz have appreciated all the girls calling in, the interviews, the girls in studio. It means the world to us and the fans.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jen.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Jen.
night.
Don't
Drive
worry
safe,
about
all
it.
right? Good night.
Night.
Okay, you guys.
Great.
Amazing to have Jen, the producer of Mob Wives, on the line. And if you guys are tuning in, please talk to us on our chat on YouTube. We will try to answer your questions if we can about tonight's episode. Sorry we couldn't get to you with Jen on the line, but we kind of had to wrap it up real quick because she's on New York time. But let's dive into the episode.
It's always so nice to have a little insight.
She's the
from an
best, you guys.
insider
She's
there.
the
She
reason.
is.
She's the reason
Yeah.
we have them on the line like
Yeah.
every week. She's the reason that we have them in studio. I mean, to have such a great producer, let alone it's like it's her
Family member.
Like I know that they all have
She's everything.
right? And they all have like. Agents and stuff like that, the people that do their publicity and stuff. But it's really Jen who has the final say, right? So it's really cool that she's been so willing to share all the Mob Wives with us here at
Yes,
AfterBuzz
we just love it.
TV.
It's so great.
All right, so let's talk about this really
Yes.
feisty episode.
this was-
Holy smokes! Literally, like
This was
flames.
fire.
Yes.
There was no putting it out at the end of the episode. We've got to find out next week. How this is gonna.
It was like temperature. It was just like started at 0. Everybody's cool, and then medium, and then lukewarm, just hot, just burning.
Completely. Yeah, and it's funny because I really thought that the whole Drittany like stirring up the pot kind of issue would just be for maybe the first couple episodes. And she has, this is a season-long issue,
Yeah.
Drittany, which really kind of surprises me. I really did not think it was going to last.
She really stretched it. It's kind of like she came in as the new little starlet. Like it's like now Britney season. It's kind of like all the women it's just Britney.
Every single episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm rather surprised, actually.
Brittany definitely didn't put one step in the pool. She took 2 feet and she jumped right in. She didn't hold
Yeah.
back. She wasn't scared. She still is not scared. I've got to give it to her. She's got balls. But the problem is she's never thought before she said anything with these women. And everybody knowing the rumor about her loving Drita before she even got accepted into this crew of women. It's just clear. Even the title of this episode is called Drittany. It's like
really clever.
It's really clever. And it was just so abundantly clear how team Drita she is, and you got to hand it to like Renee and especially Renee, because she called this. She totally called this happening.
She did. In the beginning, she was like, "Listen, this girl ain't coming nowhere near me."
Really though, but she
was
because she knows
Yeah.
she's been through the ringer with the newbies and everything else that she already could foresee what was going to happen.
Even this episode, she's like, I didn't want to say I told you so, but I told Karen so.
And even before she said that, you heard Karen admit, I wish I had never,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
wish I had
and-
listened to Renee.
Completely. And interestingly enough, Howard was just saying too that Karen was going off on Twitter today. Karen tweeted earlier that she was sorry that she ever even introduced Brittany to the rest of the ladies. So even now, even still, the divide is strong. And it's really interesting because as close as Karen and Brittany's families were, this separation was really quite easy. Just Brittany quickly jumped ship to Drita's team and was
and
quick to
what's
leave
confusing
Karen.
me about that restaurant scene and the fight? Let's keep talking about it. It was like the men who worked at the restaurant had to come in and intervene.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell the security had to step in because something was happening. I was just so confused why Drittany got so pissed when Karen got up and defended herself, you know, like because she had a point, and then you have to but Drittany was repetitive. I don't think she was making very clear points, and then it was like 3 against 1. So fine, I get it. How could you really? And Andrew's just standing there in the back, like, I have cancer.
What is
I'm not really
happening?
gonna say anything at this
Poor
point.
Ange.
But she, you know, like, and what was it? I don't even think Ange really knew what she was in for walking into it, because she walked right into Angela said it, but. And we all, episodes back when Ange did say that, we were like, she totally stirred a pot with that, remember? But I wouldn't say that Ange
Caused it. No.
She said it initially.
She delivered a message.
But
is all she did.
But the rest of them boiled it up to where it is right now.
Yeah. Took it and ran with it.
Definitely. Well, I mean, the whole sit down was interesting because obviously Drittany came in on the defensive. She knew that Renee and Carla were going to sort of have something out for her. So obviously she knew that she was going to be defending herself in the situation. And it was interesting because Renee and Carla were trying to say their piece to Drittany. And then at the end, I thought it was funny how Carla made the comment about her teacher. That she's got a teacher on her side. She better get a new teacher. Yeah. So it was funny because Drittany said, "Oh, well, so you think Drita's my teacher?" And then Carla said, "Well, no, it could be anybody. I'm just saying you have a teacher on your team." But I will say that
she meant Drita.
Yes, and I agreed with Drittany understanding that accusation as being Drita, because I interpreted it as that. I would have thought the same if I were Drittany. Oh, you must mean Drita, my teacher. So that was sort of a new little hot button that Carla brought up.
Yeah.
That I was sort of like, okay, well, I understand Brittany's confusion because I would think that she was talking about Drita too.
I saw a little bit of Brittany's reasoning. I did, you know what I mean? Getting a little bit frustrated with the snide comments.
Yeah.
Totally get that. But I don't get her not seeing what they mean by her favoring Drita's final say, you know?
Right.
Or giving Drita the final say, I should say, because she's got to hear both sides of the party, and she can't keep defending someone she doesn't really truly know. I mean, it makes sense.
I think that there's sort of a divide too happening, and I think that it's between Karen and then Renee and Carla in terms of this sit down, because I feel like Drittany could see to a certain extent, well, I don't really agree with what Renee and Carla are coming at me with because I like Drita. I'm friends with Drita. Fine. But then when it comes to Karen was her OG friend who brought her into the group.
Even the fans are like, why did she just flip on her like that?
Yes.
Flip flop, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
So Drittany, when we talk to you, you're gonna have some splaining to do. It's really, it's
Specifically
you're
with
throwing
Karen.
your audience and your fans for loops when you do that, because at the end of the day, even the fans have sides, right?
Yeah.
We do. I mean, the YouTubers could admit it as well. We all pick a side at the end of the day. So what side are you guys on?
Oh my gosh. I can't be with Drittany anymore. It's just too much. She flip-flopped last week. She's flip-flopping this week. It's just way too much.
Team Karen for you.
Maybe it's Karen, but I love Drita.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with her, but in this moment, it's Karen.
Yeah.
I'm with Karen.
And I feel you, Howard. I love Drita too. We all love Drita. We've had seasons of loving Drita. So this season is hard for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree with you. In this particular situation, I feel like I side with Karen, not because Brittany's friends with Drita, that's fine.
Right.
But the fact that she's really throwing a lot of shade at Karen, and she's really just not being a good friend to Karen. She could be a good friend to both Karen and Drita. I feel like that's possible. But she's sort of throwing Karen under the rug in favor of
She's
Drita.
saying
And
that
I don't
she
think
does
that's
it. She
cool.
wants to take her fork out of the pot or spoon, whatever it is, and leave it there. It's like you're not. Then in the next clip, in the next scene after commercial break, you went back to Drita in her sweatshirt amongst the ducks, and you completely flip flopped again. So it's like. This underlying issue of this final season, I feel, is with Karen and Drita. But
And speaking of that scene with Brittany and Drita and the ducks, that really bothered me in terms of Brittany because she immediately left that scene from Karen Carla and Renee and went back to Drita and just stirred the pot even more.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you doing this? She already went to
you were
Drita's
frustrated,
home.
I could tell.
Yeah. I was like, what is going on? I was like ripping my hair out. She already went to Drita's home in a previous episode and said like, hey, Karen said all this stuff about you. But now she's doing it again when she knows Drita's going to lose her mind. It's like, why?
And she knows
Why?
the other ladies are going to find out. Girl.
Exactly.
Brittany.
Yeah.
Come on,
So-
Brittany. We thought better than you. But so the fans, real quick, before you say anything, Howard, because I felt you were like you were about to say something. Say it, and then I'll say it.
I'm just so happy that we did touch on that you know, because it made me very frustrated too, because it
too
was just like,
much.
why would you go just from the store scene and you said all of that, and now you're going back just egging Drita on, knowing she's going to get hype.
Yeah, too much. Just uncalled for, I feel
Yes.
like.
Lizzie McDonald on YouTube says Drita brought in Karen in season 1, then that didn't go well. Renee brought Nat G in, and they're not friends, and now Karen brings Brittany in, and they're not friends.
Don't bring anyone in.
Great
Yeah.
point, Lizzie. We'll give claps for Lizzie. The fans agree that Lizzie makes a good point. But then I read one more thing, and it was super great. It was about Carla. Kevin Ryan and LHP45 say that Carla couldn't afford her home anymore. You know how we see this new like little cottage home in this season. So they feel, the fans, that Carla went crawling back to Karen and Renee, BFFs again, right? So she could get back on the show and then be able to pay some bills. Now, if Carla's
That's
watching, Carla, I didn't say that, okay? I'm reading it
that's
off.
some rumors.
These are your fans talking. But what do you guys feel about that comment? It makes you wonder.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm pretty sure they wanted to end with the original cast. They started with, these ladies who made Mob Wives what it is today. They probably said, Carla, we want to end with you. We started with you. Let's end this together.
I generally like Carla, and I feel like if she wanted to get back on the show, even if she had had tough times, she's allowed to, because she was a mob wife and she was an OG. So yeah, totally agree. I mean, why not? I mean, what can you do? Shitty times. The economy sucks. Get back on your reality show, whatever.
Right.
Carla,
I mean,
go ahead.
I do feel like that's maybe not the case.
It could be.
It could be, of course. Anything could be in this life, but I feel like maybe not. I feel like maybe it was time to reintroduce Carla, especially because of the situation between Carla and Drita. We were all dying to know Carla's side of things, so really this season was a perfect time to bring her back.
But that's how this season started. So this is where where did they guide us to make it now Karen and Drita? It was like... because see, I'm like for a loss for words right now, because Karen and Drita made up, so why couldn't Carla? It makes it just.
But did they ever really make up? That's the thing.
No.
Did they ever?
No,
Karen
I guess not.
Drita,
They didn't.
That's the verdict
Really?
we come to tonight.
Well, and the big point I think too is that during the sit down that all of the OG women had, Drita basically said like, "Oh, you guys are fakers. Like, you're not real because you guys made up." And then Carla and I think Karen were like, "So you're fake for making up? Like, we just made up."
Exactly.
Drita and Karen made up season 1, so making up is fine, but Drita seems to have a problem with that now. So I think that there's really like some sort of other, like deep-seated situation that we still do not know. Something that had gone on between Drita and Carla for there to be this issue that maybe Drita doesn't even, Carla maybe doesn't even realize, but Drita is like harboring these feelings for as to why she won't make up with Carla. Because this whole season is what we've been waiting for. We've been like, okay, make up already, we're over it, like be friends.
Or tell us the real reason.
Yes.
Exactly.
So the real reason, apparently, according to Kevin Ryan on YouTube, is that something went down. And didn't they mention this? And then we were all like, we talked about it, that something happened seasons before season 4-ish, negotiations, something to do with that, and they couldn't
that's what she said.
air it. And who said it?
Carla, when
Carla
she called
said
in,
it. But what did she say? It was a money issue? Like somebody
she
was
said
getting
Drita
more than
went
the other?
behind everybody's back.
Kevin, did you hear that? So Carla did tell us on the line when she called in with us a couple of episodes back that actually happened. So what you read was true. And that doesn't normally happen.
And there you go.
Yay for journalism. We get an applause on that? No, okay. Well, not guys. I was like,
we'll do our own.
production
There you go,
one.
Nicole.
Like,
No, but I mean, that totally makes sense. I mean, you mess with someone's money,
Exactly.
you mess with the knife. It's very serious.
That's what Karen said in the clip when Brittany left. Karen said something about money. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and I guarantee Lizzie and Kevin Ryan on YouTube that this is all going to come out in the reunion,
Yeah.
and it's going to be amazing.
Right,
and better.
Jen,
Better. It's better.
Jen.
Yeah.
Let them talk.
And it's funny too because we see that when the women fight, when it gets especially dirty, they bring up stuff from 20 years ago that we've never known about.
But we
they're
love
like,
it.
oh, well, so and so did this and so did that. But one thing they never bring up is the deals that they made behind each other's backs for
Yeah.
each new season. So that's
So
very
you want and that's some mob shit right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Some mob shit.
That is some mob
Yeah.
shit. Money,
There you
deceiving,
go.
behind the back. Keep it quiet. Or
that
else
wouldn't surprise me.
you know what's gonna happen. This is a great show. This is a great show. Oh God, are you guys so sad that this is like it? It's not.
Okay.
I know it's not. But
We've been wondering the last couple episodes, like, when's the last one? When's the last one? We
Right.
just found tonight with everybody else that next week is the season finale, and we cannot take it.
yeah, we're gonna drink a lot. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm just
lot.
dying. Like, okay, I just
We're
want to have a
drinking.
moment with you guys right now because I just want to say, first of all, that my very first show. Well, I should save this for the finale, but I'm just gonna say it now.
You can
too.
say it now.
My very first show at AFTERBUZZ TV was on Mob Wives. And it was with Nicole right here. My very first show.
And it was my first show too, and I'm really happy to be the host for it.
Yes.
So yeah,
I had red hair. It
Yeah,
was like a
you
whole
had-
different
you had
persona.
red
Anyways,
hair.
and I just loved it. And not only that, but Mob Wives has been one of my favorite shows ever. I've watched it since episode 1. I just love everyone. I cannot believe it's the last season, and I'm just ripped apart by Ange. It's very hard for me to even take in this news. And the fact that we're watching these episodes with her and she's still dealing with her health issues is very hard for me.
It's
I'm
hard.
sure it's hard for everyone.
Definitely.
It's very rough. So it's going to be nice to see sort of the reunion and everything and just kind of close this out at least, kind of nicely with everyone together. I think that's the best thing we can take from the Mob Wives final season.
So sad.
I know, it's rough. It's very, very rough.
What was it? I was going to say something off that, but I kind of missed it because ELHP45 was distracting me.
I know,
on
but we have
YouTube.
good people in the chat room. It's
He just
great.
made one more point about what we were talking about, and that I guess everybody made a pact to get a raise at VH1, but they only wanted Drita to get the raise. The raise. Woo, raise, rage. Woo, it's like I'm involved.
You haven't even
in
been
this.
drinking.
It's like I'm involved in the fight. I'm just amped. So they only wanted Drita to get it, and then it got Carla fired, so she thinks Drita sold her out.
Yeah, that's what she said.
And she did. And we know that because she told us that, but it's fun to hear it from other people who have read about it and then, understand that, like, we don't really know what goes behind closed doors until somebody leaks it out.
true.
But I believe
That
it.
is
I believe
true.
it.
Definitely.
Well, and another big update too, sort of just touching on the Karen Brittany situation, is that we finally heard definitively from Karen that Karen and Brittany are done. She said we are
And,
done.
yeah, and you,
Yes.
Twitter confirmed that a few weeks back, but I would be too if I was Karen. What about you guys?
Yeah.
It's just an ugly situation. I mean, I sort of feel for both parts, but maybe a tiny bit more towards Karen. It's like she brings in this new friend. You would think that your friend would be your friend forever.
Right.
You would think that you have the safety of introducing your new friend to your other friends and that everybody just get along. Or even if there is an issue, you guys would still be friends since you brought her in. It's crazy. It's a little bit of a crazy situation. One of my highlights for this episode, though, if I might bring up, is Renee again with the dancing. And
Can't
Alex.
wait. Yeah.
I love that Alex.
I know. When Alex walked in on the
It's
screen,
wonderful.
Blake was like, "Oh, I love him.
I love him.
He's
You know
great,
what?
though.
And I
he's
love
positive. He has a
Yeah.
good positive energy, good vibes from
so
Alex.
positive, and he puts Renee in her place, and
Yeah.
she lets it happen. I
Renee
love it.
looks great next to every time they've been dancing together. I'm like, she looks really pretty.
Yes, great and happy.
Yeah.
And she's laughing, and she's light, and she's vivacious, and it's just wonderful. And she says, "Okay, I'll try," and Alex says, "No, you will." And I love it.
No,
I love
this
it.
is one of her best hobbies she could ever do.
It's
it
wonderful.
Just puts her in a whole other base and just, mindset. I like
Yes.
this Renee.
And she's talking about her competitive recital or competing or I don't know if they're separate or together, but regardless, I hope we touch on that in the finale because that's going to be so good seeing Renee.
I hope she can come back here and dance for us.
Oh,
We should
I
go out
love
like
it.
dancing with Renee.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
That'd be cool.
Maybe that's the spinoff. Jen?
Dancing with the stars. Is she gonna be on Dancing with Renee. Okay, what's
great.
wrong with Miranda on YouTube? Karen is horrible. She always says to leave families out of it, but tonight she made a comment about Britt's mom out of nowhere. She did. She did. But I laughed. I thought it was funny. It was a valid point, Miranda,
It
that
was a
she
low
made.
blow.
It was a low. We all went whoa
Yeah,
in the
we
studio.
did.
I'm sure we might have like muffled the show because we all had a reaction to it. Very good point. I almost forgot to touch on that. But it was funny and it made sense. What did you guys think about the comment?
Well, yes, it was funny and it made sense. I do agree with that. But had someone said that about Karen in front of her face, she would have ripped him a new one. So, it's
Absolutely, as we saw from Angie's
party.
birthday / cancer-free party. I mean, yes.
Yeah, so,
So-
it's funny. It is funny in that respect for Karen to say, this is off limits. Don't talk about my family. Don't do this or that. And then she did it in a moment. I mean, she was heated. Everybody does things they wouldn't like to do when they're heated, but still.
Exactly. I just thought it was terrible. I'm like, you don't talk about nobody's mama like that. You don't do that.
And just so quick, like she had it ready.
Yeah, she was.
She thought about that.
She had that one in her pocket. I was like, okay. I mean, it was like, I like shade, but I like funny shade. Hers was just straight cutthroat, like meet me outside type of thing. So,
Meet me in the parking lot at 5, Howard.
Oh my God. Apparently her mom tweeted about it, but I don't know her mom's Twitter, and I guess I could
Brittany's
Google.
mom?
Yeah, let's see.
I like her too.
yeah,
She was
I do like
sassy.
Brittany's
She
mom.
was a character. Oh, I bet she had a lot to say about
Wives,
that.
how do we, where are
I
we
just
at?
bet.
Yeah, she was always saying so much on the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know the mom.
Even she was quick to turn against Karen.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. Brittany and the mother were both very quick to turn against Karen, and I just feel like that's sort of strange, right?
Yeah.
Like if you've had a lifelong family friend, I feel like your instinct would be to like stick with them a little bit more. I don't know. I feel like friends that I've had my whole life, my family would be like, stick with them.
What do you guys think about such a young girl fighting on, like 40-year-old women?
Yeah.
It's ballsy, like I mentioned in the beginning of the
it's
show.
ballsy, but what 24-year-old is not ballsy? You know what I mean?
True.
The
I'm
balls that
only
we
a
had
year-
when we were 24, right? So, I mean, I think that is expected from Brittany. I think coming from the rest of the women that are perhaps twice her age. Carla even made a comment that she could be breastfeeding her or something.
So
Something
funny.
ridiculous.
You guys, you got to admit that last fight, it was more funny than all the fights that we've seen on
was. It
Mob
was.
Wives. I mean, it was entertaining. We were on the edge of our seats, but we weren't
Yeah.
all like
It wasn't
we weren't-
violent.
Yeah, it wasn't violent for once. It was just words,
Yeah.
and I love that. But did you guys see the amount of security there? They
was
only
so
need
many
that amount
people.
of security for next week when we see Drita and Karen about to go at it. You know, for the real OGs, not the 24-year-old and Carla. No offense.
Right. But still, yeah, I mean, for someone twice her age to be fighting her is, I don't know, maybe unnecessary. I think whatever the issues are, I think could be sorted out. I mean, bottom line, I think all this started from her calling Marissa a lush.
Yeah.
So let's just remember that what this started for, like it
Oh,
has
Marissa.
snowballed insanely.
Exactly.
For
It's
sure.
just, it's something just so big. Just, you're a lush. And then now, where's your teacher, huh? Where's your teacher?
I can breastfeed her.
Some people are saying, it
love
wasn't
that
right
line.
of Karen to say that when her father would get flipped by the feds faster. And yes, it does go back and forth, back and forth. You guys can mention a comment that someone else said to contradict someone else's
Yeah.
or make the other look hypocritical. And that's what these wives do. And that's why we
Yeah.
love this show so much.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to miss
Exactly.
this show so much. But thank God for the spin-offs. So with that being said, let's get into our predictions.
All right.
Your
so-
AfterBuzz
Your
TV.
There it
AfterBuzz
is.
TV
We were waiting for that.
predictions.
All right, guys, what do you think?
Yes. So, I mean, I'm mostly excited for next episode to bring it back OG style and see a little Karen Drita action. One of the highlights of this whole entire series has been the Karen Drita fight in like season 2, I think it was. Season 2 or 3.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Dark out on a rooftop. I remember it. Yep.
Yeah, and so like now here we are in the last season, and we're coming right back to that moment.
Yeah.
We thought we got past it. No, we're right back to it. So I'm just interested to see where the ladies leave it off. I mean, it's the finale, so I don't think there's going to be a lot making up. So we'll see.
Yeah, I definitely predict this fight will be another one for the books. It's going to be epic. It's not gonna be like the one on the rooftop, which I love, when where it was less security and they were actually fighting, but it's gonna be very close.
Yeah. I mean, and just all the shit talk that they've spewed at each other.
Yeah.
Drita versus Karen. I
I
mean,
I predict an off ending for the last episode of Mob Wives, but open ended for the finale for sure. Maybe something will patch up in the finale, being that Jen did let us know Ange is only there for half of it. Maybe even seeing Angela leave the finale in the middle of it. Or I'm sorry, the reunion was the reunion, because Jen told us that Ange is only at half of the reunion. So maybe for the Mob Wives to see Angela leave being so sick and tired, maybe the second act of the reunion won't end as badly as like last year's with Nat G walking, like nothing at all resolved. So I'm hoping for some kind of resolvement, being that the biggest member of this cast just passed away, and it's gotta let these ladies know there's way more to life than this drama.
I agree. I think that's a really good point. I think that is going to be a large message of the whole reunion, and everybody loved Ange, the fans, her friends, her family, everybody. So I think that her being sick is really going to put sort of a layer of reality on the situation, and like hopefully, God willing, they sort of mend their differences.
These shows in the works that we're not too sure about right now, hopefully that kind of just touches on the individuals' lives, and hopefully who's ever the biggest fan of Drita and the biggest fan of Karen, you'll tune into that show, and probably tune into all of them because you love the Mob Wives as much as we do. All right, everybody, that's all the time we have for you here at AfterBuzz TV Mob Wives. Thank you so much for joining us, and all of our YouTubers, we love you so much. Comment, tweet us at #ABTV Mob Wives, and hey everyone, where can everyone find you?
Yes, of course. I'm Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and even though it's coming to an end, we're so excited to be experiencing the last season of Mob Wives with everyone. We love you guys.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we are sober, by the way.
You can find me Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Howard the Third. That's Howard the 3RD, and of course my website howardthethird.com.
And you can find me at Nicole Brajer all over the social media world. Tune in with us next week so we can recap and talk the final season of Mob Wives and the last episode of The Last Stand, and then also we're going to talk about Big Ange, so it might be a little long AfterBuzz episode.
Yes, an Ange tribute. We're going to work on making that happen because we all want to spend some extra time
and bring
on her.
the wine. We're going to wine, cheese, chicken saltimbocca, prosciutto, salami, you name it. We're going to do it Mob Wives style. All right, bye everybody. Love you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.